Welcome to Gemara Academy. In this class, we will learn Tesis Dibra Maschel Vim Chokak by Dalad al Dalad. Let's begin. Vim Chokak by Dalad al Dalad. And if he carved in it 4 by 4 tfachim, in the Gemara we said that if there was a house that inside of it was less than 10 tfachim high, so for example it's 9 tfachim high, a person can't carry in it more than 4 amas. So in our Gemara we presented a teaching from Abaya who said Vim Chokak by Dalad al Dalad. And if the person carved in the ground of the house in an area that's 4 tfachim by 4 tfachim wide, and he accomplished that it went a tefach deep, and now that area is 10 tfachim high, the Gemara said that that area is a rishus hayachid, and a person could carry in the rest of the house as well, since we view it as chayre rishus hayachid. So here, Tesis is going to present that we find a similar idea by Sukkah, but it's a little different, and he's going to ask why is it different by Sukkah, and he's going to give an answer. So let's see Tesis inside. V'kashel l'rivah, and it's difficult to the rivah. Ma'ishnam is Sukkah, the eina gvaya yud. What's it different from a Sukkah that's not 10 tfachim high? Also, a Sukkah needs to be 10 tfachim high in order to be kosher. So how is the din of Rishus HaYachid different than a Sukkah that's not 10 tfachim high? The Amar b'perakam of the Sukkah that the Gemara said in the first parak of Sukkah, that if he carved in it in the ground to complete it to 10 tfachim in height, the din is as follows: if there's from the edge of the carving to the wall 3 tfachim, psula, it's puzzle. If there's less than 3 tfachim ksheira, it's kosher. So by sukkah we find an added condition, which is that the wall of the carving needs to be within 3 tfachim of the wall of the sukkah. V'hacha, and here mahani chakika, the carving helps afilu mufleges min hakaisel harba, even if it's very far from the wall. So by Shabbos, the house could be 20 amas by 20 amas wide, as long as the person carves an area that's 4 tfachim by 4 tfachim wide, and over there he creates that the height of the house is 10 tfachim high, the whole house is going to be that area is going to be a rishus hayachid. However, by sukkah we say that that's only going to happen. It's only going to be a kosher sukkah if the wall of the carved out area is within 3 tfachim of the wall of the sukkah. So why is this? And Tosfos answers, V'tiritz and the Riva answered, the shiny hasam, that there it's different. Gabe sukkah by sukkah, the ba'inin sheyu mechitzes smuchus l'schach, that we require that the walls be near the schach. He explains that sukkah is the one that's different, since by sukkah there is a special din, which is that the walls need to be near the schach. And Tosfos is going to continue on and explain this. The Alfin and Hasam, because we learn over there, mechitzes, the din of needing walls by a sukkah, mi basukkah is basukkah is basukkah. From this that it says, by sukkahs, the word basukkah is 3 times. And since we learn the requirement of the walls from the words basukkahs, and the word basukkahs refers to the schach, therefore we have a limit that the walls need to be near the schach. And Tosfos now brings out a side point to support this. Like we said over there in the Gemara in Sukkot, if a person distances schach from the walls, it's puzzle. It says over there that in a case where a person has kosher walls that are 10 tfachim high, but he moved the schach from the walls 3 tfachim or more, it's going to be puzzle, since we have this din in place by sukkah that the schach needs to be near the walls, and only within 3 tfachim is it considered near. Like we learned earlier, the idea of lavud, and lavud is that anything within 3 tfachim of something else is viewed as if they're touching. And Tosfos now concludes his answer, and this is the reason why we require that it needs to be less than 3 tfachim distance between the walls of the carved out area and the walls of the sukkah. Because we need to combine the wall of the carved out area to the walls of the sukkah. For what purpose? In order that they should be near the schach that's across the carved out area. So basically, both for the bottom of the sukkah and the top of the sukkah, we need to have less than 3 tfachim between the walls and the carved out area. Let's look at the bottom of the sukkah. If it's 3 tfachim or more distant, then we're not going to say that they're connected, and it comes out that the wall is not all close to the schach. Only part of the wall is close to the schach, not the whole wall. We need the whole wall to be close to the schach, so therefore it has to be within 3 tfachim at the bottom. Also, for the top, it needs to be within 3 tfachim. The area in the bottom needs to be within 3 tfachim of the bottom, because of the top, because only the schach that's opposite the opening, the carved out area, is kosher schach, because only that schach is above a sukkah that's 10 tfachim high. So if it were to be distant more than 3 tfachim or more, then it comes out that the wall is far at a distance from the schach, at a distance of 3 tfachim or more. In order that the schach that's kosher should be close to the walls, the area in the bottom needs to be within 3 tfachim. So both for the bottom of the wall and the top of the wall, it's necessary that the distance be less than 3 tfachim. And now Tosfos is going to address a question. Va'afal the doifen akuma machsheres ad dal amas. Even though a crooked wall makes the sukkah kosher up to 4 amas, there's a halacha l'moshe in Sinai for a person who built a sukkah that has walls that are 10 tefachim high. However, the problem in the case is that he has schach that's puzzle, and only afterwards he has schach that's kosher. The din is that as long as the schach that's puzzle is less than 4 amas, we view it as a doifen akuma, which means a crooked wall. We see it as the wall of the sukkah is the wall, and the puzzle schach is part of the wall. So it's a crooked wall. So it comes out that the kosher schach is right next to this crooked wall. So Tosfos is addressing a question. So he's supporting what he's saying by negating a question. Even though a crooked wall makes the sukkah kosher up to 4 amas. So Tosfos says, Mataris la shas, the Gemara answers this question over there in Sukkah and says, Hani mili heicha de ika mechitzas ma'isa. This is so where there's a good wall. Over there's already good walls in place. We already have walls that are 10 tefachim high. We just need to rid ourselves of a problem that there's puzzle schach. So for that, we have space up to Dalet Amos, up to 4 Amos. But here, where it's to make it a wall, over here we don't even have a wall in place yet. The wall is 9 tefachim. We don't have the extra tefach, which will create proper walls of a sukkah that are 10 tefachim high. So here, where it's to make it a wall, if it's less than 3 tefachim, we combine the walls of the carved out area to the walls of the sukkah, the havya samach l'schach, that are near this, that it should be near the schach. Tfei, but more than this, more than less than 3 tefachim. In other words, 3 tefachim or more, loy mitzdarf, we can't do it. So over there, we already have good walls in place. We just need to rid ourselves of a problem, so we give ourselves up to Dalet Amos. Whereas over here, we don't even have walls in place. We're trying to accomplish that there should be kosher walls. For that to be done, we only have, it's much more stringent, and we only have up to 3 tefachim. So just to summarize, Tosfos asked, why by Shabbos we could have the walls of the carved out area at a great distance from the walls of the house, and by Sukkah we can't. And he explained that by Sukkah there is a unique din, which is that the walls need to be near the schach, since the din of the walls, that we need walls in the first place, is learned from the words bas sukkos, which refers to the schach. From there we learn that the walls need to be near the schach, and therefore, in order that the walls, the entire wall, also the bottom tefach, is connected to the schach, and that the schach should be within 3 tefachim, that it's connected as well, that's only possible if it's less than 3 tefachim, or then we could say lava, that it's as if it's attached, and that way we accomplished that the bottom part of the wall is attached to it, as well as the top, the schach that's kosher, is going to be considered attached to the wall. And then Tosfos addressed the question that elsewhere we find that we give up to 4 amas, and here we're limiting it to 3 tefachim, says because there we already have proper walls in place. We just need to rid ourselves of a problem. For that we have extra leeway. We have up to 4 amas. Whereas over here, where we need to create the walls, it's much more stringent, and we only have up to 3 tefachim.